All right, welcome back to the 80 Star Basketball Channel. So this is going to be the auction action. Going to be looking at the Robert Edwards ending auctions, and this one in Card Ladder notes this was a record-setting auction for the PSA 7. I did a video on it yesterday, pretty much, but wanted to add this in from Card Ladder before I go on over to the eBay and Robert Edwards auctions, talking about the other auctions. But definitely cool to see this, and again, just kind of everything that been saying and seeing, and I think that this is just the start, but cool to see nonetheless. All right, let's go look at the auctions. So I wanted to just go over first. I'm only going to cover the Robert Edwards auction that ended a couple days ago, Sunday night, and then I'm going to just go over some eBay ones, and then I want to talk about a little bit. I did that video on the ending auction for these that will be in here. These couple of 101 PSA 7. So I talked to those, and I want to kind of give a second to the eBay one because I'm going to change my prediction and opinion after re-looking at it. I got some comments, so and I looked at it again, so I'll get there in a few. But for now, I just want to go through these and thoughts and stuff. Here's an 85 set that sold with a Beckett 9 117 second year base card. And I don't think that this was high or low. Seems about right because there was a bunch graded, and these don't come up too often. So it's right in the fact that kind of price wise, it's right in the fact that it depends what if you're after something with a bunch graded and everything, it's very very convenient. So kind of about somewhere around there as expected. This PSA 6, I was a little higher than eBay sales, so just kind of noting that for 2,500 for a PSA 6. They've been kind of around the 22, but in and around range. This one I was a little surprised at because this being this card right here is so well centered, and this card is impossible practically to get well centered. I don't want to venture to guess, but that's the best centered copy I personally have ever seen. I get that it has a little edge white, and edge wear up on tops and everything in the corners, but for most people value centering as a premium, and for this card, you can't replace that. So there's probably only a couple other copies, and I just haven't seen them that have centering like this. But that is just, this is so hard to get because if those other people don't sell, you aren't getting it. But, I expected this to easily be in the 30 range. So kind of was surprising right there. Here's the 117. I just did a video on this 9, actually a little bit less than what I would expect this to sell for. But again, kind of on my videos, just I don't know why. It's a low pop count, kind of unloved card, but I like it. And so it looks like 2,300 for that copy. So not far off, but just still a little surprising. Might be on the subs. If we go look at, I'll even check really quick just to do my due diligence. It's because it's a little lower on, wasn't a 9 average. It's a hair less, so that makes sense. So glad I checked. So that kind of justifies the price a little. I talked to these two in their own video yesterday. I'm just going to call this, and I still don't understand why the better centered copy, I would think, other than the scan, just looked like it had lint or dust or something, a whole bunch of it. So, hats off to both buyers, though. Both really cool copies. Thought this one was interesting. Here's a bag. These bags, again, these don't come up often. Bags for the 5x7, Chicago Bulls. The Bulls team bag is just a cool item to me. But I kind of was like thinking they both went in and around like the exact same price. The bag was a little more. Which one would you rather have? A PSA 8 or this bag? Me personally, I'd rather have the bag. I just think that bags are cool and they're factory sealed and just kind of that in um, in that state, that's why I do like bags. Um, and that was a superset going for 800. And then this one I did want to touch on because this will come down to what the condition of the cards is. It was advertised as a highly near mint set, but it's raw. So went for all three sets without the Jordans for 13,200, and that to me in the raw state, you might construed, maybe it's fine, but I don't know. It really will depend on the grade of the cards, and I think that's what someone may be taking a gamble or a risk on, but. All three sets selling. But for someone who's got the cash and the convenience of just buying all this, you'll pay for it. You'll pay for the ease of having to, scrap these things together, which is may what, happened here. So I'm not going to say that this was a bad deal because, again, if you have the money, was it a fair deal? Again, if those cards are really truly near mint and you get some great, PSA grades out of it, that's going to be really what it comes down to. So, not bad. Okay, so just going over to eBay auctions, and here was I want to say this is kind of showing again where things are headed with this card. This was a beat up copy. It's got creases, everything. It's authentic. You don't know, what else is. It's just a really really rough copy, but going for 6,200 is just kind of showing. I would have thought that maybe this is in the 5,000 range, and then and unfortunately, by the way, I accidentally deleted some of my ending ones that I wanted to show, and that was on accident. But so this is kind of some of these that I ended up with. About 9,000 for a BGS 9. That seems about right in that range. 960 for this 9. I think I covered these on the last one, last video. The 8th going in and around 20,000 to be expected. So let's look at the active ones. This one again, this one's really surprising to me, the centering on this. I looked at this and it was just like, I don't understand how that's a Gem Mint 10, especially on centering when it's obviously visibly off. So, that's at 4,000. It's at 4,000. Be interesting to see where that ends at. Here's the 195 base card for the 84 at 1650 right now with 2.5 days left. Here is a 9 117 that is up for option. So let's check out the subs really quick. Really strong subs. So this, it'd be interesting to watch this and see where this ends up at. Again, these cards, 2/3 of them are in the mint range. So this is common for this card. As Star got the quality better as it went on later. This 6 right here, surface obviously has some surface issues with being in a card case, or I'm sorry, screw down, and you end up getting those white kind of paper loss. And what I do want to note on this is it really interesting is that in Heritage there's a few BGS 8s and for 101s coming up. And this one has kind of the same paper loss, and the surface on that one is a 9, and this one is a 5.5. And just want to show that, buy the card, not the grade. It really is, kind of a black eye for BGS. I'll show that later, but the exact same kind of surface damage here and then showing up on the other one, and they gave it a 9. So you have to be careful. Always, really, that 6, remember, is an opinion, and sometimes I think are false. So this was did what I'll come back to this. This is the one that I kind of said was a monster. It still is, could be. It's a really good copy, but I'll come back and talk to this one in a second. This PSA 7, just simply in my other video, I said something about it. And I had to after someone commented, I re-looked. This 88 Fleer wax box I'm watching because I'm going to be putting mine up for, I'm going to sell mine. So if anyone's interested in one, I'm going to put mine up for 3,400. And it's from a case. But the last one sold for 3,500, not BBC graded, was, what was it? I think it was the non-graded one was 3,400, and there was one person with no feedback that was 3,200. So, or 35 and 32, and the only one that was legit was the 35 sale. But they're going, when you get them wrapped in BBC, sealed. I think the last sale was 4,300 and 4,500. Just watching that one, Ink Julius Irving. These are some just some raw cards I was kind of looking at. Just I track these prices, so I wanted to see where they ended up. And again, you know, some of the ones that I've kind of consistently been in my vids that and the last two. So I'm going to come back to this 7 because it has it up for, because there's one thing now. One of my users or users. One of the people who commented on the video I did, basically said, "Hey, check out that right side. I can't tell if it's lighting or not." I chalked this up to lighting because I've seen this before on the edge, but it might not be, and this might be why it got a 7, because this card is super sharp. And remember, white shows up generally worse in scans and photos and than it does in real life. If you look at some, that's been my experience anyway. But looking at this one, this might be a hair bit on the edge. It gets that little bit of discoloration. I've seen it before. So that might be what happened here, because this, from my assessment, I've seen 8s like this, a PSA 8, and this is a really strong card. But this might be, and I can't tell. And if it is, so I'm going to move my prediction. I thought that this would easily break 30. Not easily, but I thought it would break 30, and I was going to be surprised if it didn't. This still might break 30K, but I definitely will not be surprised if it ends lower than that. And I'm kind of assuming that at this point it might, just because I kind of can't tell. Anyone who wants to add to the comments, feel free. But that was something that I noted, and I'm glad that someone called that out, and I could take a kind of a relook, because if you look at this here, and then I go down here, down to this other 7, you can kind of see along the edge, you get that. You get that kind of how you look on the side. It might be the lighting, how it's shining up, and it might just be a little hair, but it kind of does look like there's a little bit, it does look a little bit different. And I some of it could be chalked up to, the coloration on this, but still a really nice copy in my opinion. And again, I think most people would take the centered copies that Robert Edwards, ended in that. But if this was, if this is just lighting and showing, which it kind of doesn't look like, it looked like it might be, but if it is, I prefer copies like this that are red, not showing any white, and more mint, kind of factory, no card damage. That is just a personal preference of mine again, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. So anyway, we just wanted to quickly look at the auctions, and I'll be doing in a week. I'll kind of search for some more stuff and wrap it up. So anyway, put your comments in, like, subscribe, and I'll see you at the next video.